want to talk about a game called The Game.
That's fun.
That's
that sounds
it.
like
The
a fun
end.
game.
The end. The game called The Game, which is infinitely hard to search on the internet for, because I think The Game is the worst board game name in the history of all games.
It really is.
It is. It's really tough. For those that don't know what I am talking about, this is a card game designed by Stefan Bendorf. I'm going to talk about the new version today, and that is designed, not designed, illustrated by Kwanchai Moria and distributed by Pandasaurus Games. These guys you may have recognized also published or got to the state, Rewind. Pandasaurus Games also brought stateside The Mind, which is one of my most favorite card games of all time. And now they enlisted the talents of Kwanchai in order to get the game from its awful, death-inspired illustration and design into a much more fun, lighthearted version of the game that I actually like so much better. So to quickly talk about the game, it is a game where you start by having 2 1s and 2 100s placed in front of you, and then you have upwards of, you could play solo or you can play, an infinite amount of people, theoretically, but probably 8 is going to be the amount that fits well for everyone. And what you're going to be doing is you're going to be playing at least 2 cards from your hand, going either in sequential order from 1 to 100 or from 100 to 1. And so preferably what you want to be able to do is have your 98, 97, 96 and be able to top deck all the other cards that fit in that order, which would be nice, but obviously you shuffle them up and there's going to be liberties and there's going to be huge number gaps in order for you to be able to make some tough choices as far as, do I really want to place this 50 going upwards or downwards? There's a unique, I think, twist to this whole game, though, is that when you start playing these cards either up or down, if you're able to play a card that is exactly 10 more or 10 less, you can actually jump back or forth that amount. So let's say, for instance, if you're going up and you play the last card as a 35, if you have a 45 in your hand, you can play that card and you can actually play, or no, reverse that. If you're working down and you have the last card as a 55 and you have a 65 in your hand, you can play a 65, essentially reversing the order from 55 to 65 and play down from 65. So that way it makes it easier for you to be able to have someone else have a card less than 65, which I think accounts for the ability of you're not going to be in sequential order. And likewise, when you work from the bottom up, so from 1 to 100. So if, let's say, for instance, if you have a 35 and in your hand there's a 25, you can play that 25, essentially kind of rolling you back that way. And the objective is to clear your hands and deck of all the cards, in that you would hopefully play all 100 cards onto the board, which is infinitely impossible, but I think it theoretically can be done. And so nothing, I think, game-wise has changed with this new version, except for the artwork. And I just have to say that the game just looks so much better with his artwork on it. There's there's no rhyme or reason to it. It's just they're like, hey, Kwanchai, do you have some cool, fun, colorful doodles? 10 of them that you can expand across 10 cards. And He made them work, and it looks beautiful. It looks great. I think it's a lot more appealing. I think it's going to gather a much better audience. The game, I think, had this whole death theme to it, which made absolutely zero sense to me. I think especially just at a consumer level, when they look at it, it's why is the game about death and skulls when it's just about ordering cards? It did not make any sense to me at all. But I enjoyed this game. It's a fun game. I like The Mind better. But the game is really, I think, a unique, fun twist on your simple 1 through 100 deck card games, and I enjoy it. I recommend checking it out.
That's cool. Actually, I was going to ask if you liked The Mind better, and you do, and that's really interesting, because I didn't realize there were such close concepts to each other. But that's really... I'm still waiting for my copy of The Mind, by the way. I don't know I think it got held up somewhere, but I'm excited for The Mind. And the game, because that's the one we were talking about. The game.
What was I going to say? Oh, yes. 2 different designers, and interestingly enough, people were buying copies of the game and just basically transforming it as a prototype or like a makeshift, version
of the mind.
The mind, because you
Isn't
just
that kind of a slap in the face, though?
kind of. But what are you gonna do? People,
what you gonna do?
People want what they want. They're gonna buy the mind. I mean, it's still still a sale for the game. Now
true.
with the mind coming out, they can just revert their copies or whatever have you. So, whoa, now
I'm okay.
Whoa,
I hit the mic. I'm okay.
I can confirm. I am watching him on video.
I'm alive. So is that the same publisher as the mind, right?
Yep.
Is it?
Pandasaurus.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yep.
That's interesting.
Yep.
That's
Pandasaurus was able to get that, and like Quinto, and they really latched on to these really kind of unique games that were overseas and are bringing them over stateside, and it's paying off for them. So kudos on Pandasaurus for those acquisitions.
This is like a fun game. The game.